So, okay, this is the other, I'll tell the audience. I read Michael West's article on this, and it's really scaring me. So basically what's happened is that, Miss Love, there is a free trade agreement that Australia has signed.
With Canada.
It's called Asia-Pacific Free Trade Agreement.
Right.
Which basically, the signatories are most of the countries in Asia-Pacific, your usual things like China, Japan, and then a lot of Southeast Asian countries too. There's a whole bunch of them. Anyways, what's happening in this free trade agreement is that any services and things that this free trade agreement would apply to, there can't be regulations on it. This is like a very neoliberal free market way of looking at it.
Yeah.
The Australian government...
No blocks on like frankincense and myrrh and those
kind of so just completely deregulated Ronald Reagan's boner world.
Yeah.
So what's happened is that the Australian government has created a few exceptions. Now we know this. By the way, while they were negotiating this, we weren't allowed any public scrutiny. They didn't release any of this stuff.
When they do that, put it to a vote.
But now that they've signed it, we have found out what it contains. But anyways, the most concerning thing is that they've looked for exceptions in certain things that they are able to regulate, like things like Social Security, healthcare, stuff like that.
Cinnamon.
That's all good. Childcare. Yeah. But what they didn't put in it is actually the scary bit.
Yeah.
Aged care facilities.
As in, what do you mean? As in that it's not regulated?
It's not going to be regulated for the next foreseeable future. So basically, what this means is, if God forbid your parents or you end up in an aged care facility owned by a multinational corporation
in Australia,
the government cannot do anything to regulate that. So which is telling me, look, with if you look at the demographics, boomers are getting older. So the people that are going to be in aged care in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be
especially
huge.
in the West.
In the West, particularly.
I don't know why we love
and
that
Australia.
trend. We love that
Just
trend.
wait until Meta takes it over.
It's just great. Dude, Jordan. ACA.
Yes!
Robot grandmas
Finally.
in Metal Gear Solid gear just playing Max Payne. Just
Yes, protecting us from monsters that emerge from the Pacific Rim.
No, Ali, we joke, but that is very
it's really scary. It makes me, what's obvious is why the multinational corporations wanted aged care facilities not to be part of that, because obviously it's a huge money-making prospect for them in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
But my question is, Jordan, why is the Liberal Party, which is supposed to represent boomers and old people, signing up to this? By the way, I just want to point out that obviously we didn't know about it, but the Labour Party and the Greens did. The Greens vetoed it. Labour Party agreed to it, but said that we've got very serious assurances from the minister.
The minister?
The aged care minister, saying that it's not
We've
there.
got his word.
I don't know what they're...
The minister. How great would it be if it was just the Minister for Infrastructure or whatever? Just someone else. Fisheries.
Yeah.
But why is the Liberal Party doing this? I thought you represented older people. They really love you.
Well, as evidenced in COVID, they don't.
Yeah.
They rely on their votes because they watch Channel 9.
Yeah, Peter Overton.
He makes a compelling argument.
He does.
He is very slanted.
Yeah, his argument is a puppy was born in Brisbane that was very cute today. So you better fucking vote Liberal.
But why are we giving up on old people? I really don't understand this.
Because they don't care.
They don't give a shit.
They don't care about anything. That's the answer. The short answer is they don't have a vision. They don't care what the future is. I swear to God, Scott Morrison doesn't think further ahead than tomorrow's headlines. That's all that man has. He might have some overarching strategy of what next week's headlines look like, but he's not going to put his neck out for anything. It's exactly the same as what you saw with climate change. He didn't believe in it. Well, yeah, he didn't believe in it a long time ago, and then he said that it is happening, and now he says that he's doing something about it. He's not doing anything in any of these regards. Just whatever is most expedient to him. And he will be able to get the votes from them anyway, because they're not going to be reading this free trade agreement.
It's ridiculous. If you're a young person, make sure you retire somewhat rich.
Yeah.
The future does not look good for
dude-
us, dude, when we're old.
And that's why I'm saying Facebook gives you the tools to be rich. So that's your out.
Meta. I love that you were like,
It's the best superannuation plan there is.
Meta does age care. They do it better.
That's
than
what they're
some-
pitching too. Like, trust me, let us control this, and and life is going to be so much
Great, 'cause
better.
it was like the nice, bittersweet episode of Black Mirror that wasn't scary at all, where it was just you got to download your consciousness into an 80s fantasy world where you got to go to the discotheque every
Sounds pretty
weekend
cool,
and make out with a
Sounds
hot
alright.
black lesbian. Like,
That sounds cool to me. I stopped watching it after the people, and I was like,
I'm
this is boring
keen.
now. But like, it is a
that was the first episode.
yeah. I watched the first
Much
episode.
like your adventures into the world of Harry Potter, it ended at chapter 1.
Do you remember what I gave you? Did you see the copy
Yeah.
of my first of Harry Potter I had from year 6?
Yeah, and then you just read it and went, hey, Dave Grohl is not mentioned as much as I would have hoped.
No, it wasn't that. It was actually I had a copy of Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, and I was such a little shit even in year 6 that like I was looking at it the other day. I had it when I was in year 6, and it got to the end, and in the last scene is like, Barnaby, write down my last thoughts. The English sway takes me again, night to day, day to night, and dies. And then you just turn over, and there's just a really crude drawing of a person crying, saying like, "That was the saddest ending I've ever read in my life." It was this 12-year-old me. just
I
being
don't
like,
know if it's sarcastic or not.
Of course it is. I didn't read the fucking thing. I read the last page and was like, "Oh, lame. He died. That means he's a loser."
Yeah, the one downside of growing up in the North Shore.
Hey,
What?
I don't know,
respond.
just always laughing at special extinction and death.
Hey, Jordan, respond to this on my behalf. Squeaky1124 and a lot of other people are saying, "Lol, yeah, thanks for the advice. Get more money." Ha 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 ha.
Well,
What am I supposed
is
to
there anything
say?
wrong with that?
that's obviously not.
I mean, look, obviously, I don't even have that money to retire. Like, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not some rich person saying, like, why are you poor? I'm just saying I'm poor too, and we need to fucking find a way out of this shit.
$50 a Kubra hat.
This is not my hat. I can't say whose it is, but it's someone on this table, and it's not me, and it's not Miss Love.
Well, someone needs hats over there, so there's your prime suspect.
hey, this was like $30. But look, what Jordan is saying is like, the internet has democratized the creative media, the arts, right?
And
Not
there's-
just that, it's democratized everything.
Well, not everything. Oh, business.
Absolutely
business,
everything.
Business.
If you have a good idea, as in the old adage of if you build a better mousetrap, the world will beat a pathway down to your door, has never been closer to being true than it is now.
Right.
So I too truly think this, and this is the message of Jordan Shanks, which is that, yeah, these are disturbing trends for society in general. But for the individual, it's great. And you do have a personal responsibility. It's called personal responsibility. And I do think that in this day and age, no matter what you are doing, there is a way to be making more money on it. Even if you're a teacher, for instance, you have access to
Zoom.
every year 12 student on earth that you could be tutoring.
True.
If you started to make a business online as a side hustle, if you will.
And that's the one more thing about that is there's a lot of talk about how the only way to get popular on social media or to start making money is to do something crazy or controversial. That might be true. However, that's not the entirety. Like, you go on YouTube.
That's what you're going for.
You go to like channels like, for example, Armchair Historian, Crash Course, that came out ages ago. Nothing controversial. They're just making good content and informative content, and they end up finding a group of people that are into that appreciate that sort of
There's so
stuff.
many niches.
There's a lot of that too that
So many
gets
niches.
unnoticed.
There's a lot of ways to cook a marbled Wagyu steak.
Just, Miss, cut to me. I just want to say this one thing. For anybody that always says, get more money. That's loser talk. Sign up to Jordan Shanks today.
Andy
All right, you can
Uplate.
cut back to the team.
Yeah, damn straight. Jordan Shanks.
Andy Patreon. Friendly Jordy's Uplate.
Patreon Uplate. There's so many now. It's just, what are they all? I don't even know.
No, we know. It's the Uplate.
The Uplate. Sign up to the... No,
Sign up to
seriously,
Friendly Jordy's podcast Patreon to access Uplate. Which
the
will...
Uplate is basically our therapy. It's just psycho... It's just Jordan Peterson, like, psychology group lesson 101. I love it. It's basically therapy.
This reminds me, by the way, Jordan. I went into Miss Love's Taliban room today, right? And his wall is filled with like inspirational quotes, which is amazing.
Scrolls.
You read all of them, right? And they're all great, except for the last one makes every other quote redundant.
I don't see it.
The last quote was, you end on, just always remember, if you do something, time passes away. If you don't do something, time also passes away.
What's wrong with that?
That's what I
What's the
thought.
point of doing anything if time's passing away either way? That's not encouraging me to do something. That's making me like, oh, why should I put in so much effort? He's saying the end result's going to be the same.
Jesus, now I know how the teachings of the Quran are very split.
Yeah, it's really...
Panthera.
No, but you can read into a sentence however you like. Ali's not wrong.
Yeah.
But wait, how are you going to read that?
I will read that as, if you start a trajectory in life, which is a classic self-help principle, which is it'll take your business about 7 years to become profitable. And people always go, 7 years, but I can't wait that long. But it's like, you're going to be 7 years older if you don't do it. So do it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He said it better than I could. I said it like, dude, what it means is like, dude, if you don't feel like doing it, do it anyway, because like the time's gonna pass anyway, man. But that's basically you're such a pessimist, dude.
Another teaching. We have Shiites and Sunnis. Right?
Damned if you do and damned if you don't. That's my point. Yam Cakes said that.
Jordan likes you like my Tibetan scrolls, don't you?
I like the fact that they're Tibetan scrolls, and I don't know where you got this 1400s Tibetan paper from and how you were able to afford it.
Just like what the Tibetan constitution is written on. Once I was like, yoink.
Yes. Turned it around.
I can tell you, taking...
no need to read the wisdom that's imparted on those scrolls.
I'm right. I just need
Gary, you just need Stephen Kivet. Yeah. Right.
Dude, and I can tell you, having taken those words of wisdom down off my wall, there's a lot more fucked holes in that house's wall now.
Good.
Just taking off.
Yeah,
more.
his
No
his
one
entire
knows.
wall had like AK-47 bullet holes.
Oh, we all saw. We're all on that journey with him of him breaking the world record for never leaving your bed.
Yeah.
Smashing it.
And he told me not to say this, but like he really got caught in that situation.
Talk on the uplead.
Okay, fine, whatever. Look, this.
Well, yeah, no, look. What was that last thing that we were talking about? Yes, just make money, fuck the haters, and you want another piece of advice that should go on your little Tibetan scrolls, Miss Love. Write this down.
I don't have a pen, but...
Don't listen to Gary Vaynerchuk.
You know what's funny? He sucks.
But you like him anyway.
I don't like him, but there's something that... I don't hate him 100%. There's 10% of me, I'm like, look, he says some stuff that is valuable. He says some stuff that's valuable.
I know, but he's more stuck in the paradigm of rap hasn't changed since 2008 than us.
That's true.
So, I don't know. It's just... I talked about this on the Neil podcast, but the way that he speaks irritates me, and it's finally been punctured, this idea that people in the world...
Yeah.
It was unfathomable to me now, but I do understand it. Some people might not like Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And I think it is just pretty much... And there's nothing that I can say that's wrong about Gary Vaynerchuk other than...
Yeah.
Can you stop using the word hustle more than me?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. It's that you do realise that there are other people to gain wisdom from other than T.I.
Yeah. Also, fix your office up. You look like Your office looks like that of a startup wine maker. Startup.
That's exactly how I'd imagine his office would
Yeah. It's really like...
But imagine posters of Michael Jordan everywhere.
Yeah, and a baseball bat, one baseball bat sign.
Some people don't know who that
It's
is.
just
Can
the
you?
worst side of American culture.
Hey,
That's what he's amassed.
some people don't know who that is. Can you give a brief intro on who you're talking about?
It's okay. You know the movie Twins.
Yes, I do.
Just imagine that Tony Robbins is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Gary Vaynerchuk is Danny DeVito.
Perfect.
Hey, I'm
Well
sold.
said.
I'm
Well
sold.
said.
But I would say always listen to Danny DeVito and not Arnold
Danny has got more
Schwarzenegger.
wisdom than Gary.
Okay, one more.
Yeah, he definitely does. Can I just say this before we go on? Have you guys seen Arnold Schwarzenegger's inspirational speeches?
Yeah, like the from iron pumping and I've read half of
seen
his
some.
book.
Did you?
Yeah, really, really good. Again, self-help. This is the
Great
other
book.
thing
It
I
was
like.
really entertaining.
Yeah, so entertaining, and
read
they're
it.
And he was
one of the
quite
most watched
unself-aware,
docos too.
and I liked it. And that's what's really sweet about him. 2 made me watch some of his speeches, and it's great. It's just this huge lumbering monster of a man, but he's sort of like my dog Zeus in that he is trapped inside a Godzilla body, and in lies this innocent 8-year-old boy that speaks out, going, "When I was a young boy in Austria, I looked around, there was scopes, builders. I didn't want these. I wanted to be movie star. And I realized the only way to become movie star when I didn't know English was to get really big, beautiful muscles."
And he's right.
He was right.
That's all the
Path to success.
That's all you need.
How much better is that than Gary Vaynerchuk? Why is anyone listening to that? I'm sorry. If you can have a laugh and get wisdom, it beats Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And that was the thing about Twins as well. It was like the comedy of Twins was not the comedy. It was the serious moments that were funny.
Yeah.
Remember when we went back and watched it? We just
Yeah.
realized all the scenes that are supposed to just pull at your heartstrings. It's like, that's all well and good, but Arnold Schwarzenegger says.
They're thinking of a remake with Shaq and Kevin Hart.
Wow, that's
No, it's not happening, but they're thinking of it.
I would love to not see that.
Me too. I will watch it nonetheless and
Yeah.
be appalled.
Yeah.
Speaking
And it
of,
better only be on Netflix. If that goes to movies, I'm
think-
going to be personally offended.
speaking of great ideas, this is something that I personally
Sorry,
don't.
you know what they should
yeah.
do? Twins 2. Now with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger 5 years away from death.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
So would I.
And that would be sadder than Jack and Jill.
Yeah, and probably sadder than the Kevin Hart remake.
Yeah.
Also, guys, I recently watched You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Yeah.
10 on 10.
Yeah, it is.
It's a really funny
10
movie.
out of 10.
So funny.
What was it? The
First of
scene
all, we
where
didn't
he's
realize
shooting-
how un-PC that movie was. Bizarrely, it makes fun of Jews. It makes fun of Muslims.
Well, was it the
it was a
scene where
different
they were-
time.
Was it the scene where he was
And it's
shooting
funny.
hummus out of a hose?
Yeah,
fire
that's
hose?
funny. You can't do that shit now.
I'm sorry. You don't think that's funny?
Or like brushing your teeth with hummus, because it's such base level child funny.
The part where the legs go, like the Austin Powers, his legs go up, but they're not his legs.
You're selling it more.
It's a really funny movie.
I
You
hate
just
the meme generation.
it's I love it.
No. He is in that same realm as Arnold Schwarzenegger, where the only things that are funny is when he's not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Actually, no, now that I think about it, Funny People was the worst film I've ever seen. It's the only one where I ever thought staring out the window in a plane is more entertaining than watching this.
You know what?
My girlfriend,
I agree.
my
I agree.
uh,
I totally agree with you. It's just like comedians have dark lives. Seth Rogen just padding for him to remind you he exists. Like, there's enough of that.
Yeah.
enough
it's
of
just
Seth
a lot of
Rogen
comedians
movies.
and cars getting coffee.
Yeah,
Let's not throw comedians in the cars and coffee in the bus.
is-
but I
That was
understand.
disrespectful. I'm sorry.
That's his
Yeah.
holy
Funny
grail.
People belongs in its own.
It does,
universe
dude.
of
It does.
terrible.
It does.
Anyway, sorry for deviating, but this is something that I personally don't care
I
about.
know other thing. can you please, because I can't, I'm too scared, can you please go back and watch The Love Guru? Because I think it might be the only one of Mike Myers' works that might hold up.
I can't.
I shall.
Dude, The Glove Guru is so bad that it is incredible.
That's what I thought too. It's
Zohan,
the room with a budget.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Zohan isn't bad. It's just good. And my girlfriend had the same reaction as you. Sitting there, like, it's not that funny.
The key
It's
to a
funny.
the key to a good comedy film is be made between 2000 and 2010 and have a character whose first name is Zed.
First letter is Zed. You're saying it's actually good. I think it wasn't.
And I'm not saying this ironically. I was laughing throughout.
You know why you liked it? It was the closest thing you've ever seen to like a Middle East peace treaty.
Probably.
Of course, we both love
It was like, I would be scared to sit next to you on a plane because you're Muslim. It was like, and I was like, that is so mean. But the other guy's like, yeah, but I would be too. And the consensus was everyone would be. Fair enough. Let's move on. Like,
Nice.
Ali Washington was like, single
it was
tear.
funny. It was. I enjoyed it. Anyways.